There is no defense for Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson. That's what I said in the videos 6 weeks ago. I was high on the Bama offense. But oh, how things have changed. I'm actually not going to walk back my take on Ty Simpson. He's good enough to take over a game with his right arm. The problem is that's Bama's only hope of moving the rock, and everybody knows it. Alabama's averaging 78.3 rushing yards per game in their last 3 Power 4 matchups. To put that into perspective, another team that's playing this weekend, the Oregon Ducks, they averaged 215 yards on the ground per game this season. So what's going on with the Bama run game? Has everyone just figured out Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb's scheme? Should Bama fans be worried? Probably, but how worried? Let's dive into the film. When you're watching a live broadcast, it's hard to verbalize why and how a run game is struggling. I know firsthand. In fact, literally tonight, I'm calling the bowl game on ESPN, the 68 Ventures Bowl. This video will be out after the game, so you'll miss that. But on Christmas Eve, I'll be calling the Hawaii Bowl also on ESPN. So when you're scrambling to wrap your leftover Christmas gifts, catch your boy on the screen. But all right, here, Alabama run game. It's just going to get stuffed in the middle. This is Georgia SEC championship game, but it's like, all right, Max, what exactly is happening on this play? Basically, Alabama loses every matchup on the right-hand side of their offensive line. So as we just saw, it's going to be a run right down the A gap on the right-hand side. The center and the guard are tasked with combination blocking the tackle up to this linebacker, number 3, who he'll back up once the play gets going. I believe it's the left tackle. Hopefully my notes are right. This left tackle is tasked with winning that one-on-one matchup there. He loses that one. And then the tight end, who's coming, there we go. He's coming back around to the other side, he gets nobody at all. So literally all 4 blockers on the Alabama right side of the offensive line, including the center, literally just don't win their matchups. These are the guys to look at though. This combination block to here doesn't get home, and Georgia's able to win. So it's a physical beat across the board. Literally every single front 7 player for Georgia wins their one-on-one matchup. Here, you got an outside zone run to the right. This is actually a zone read by Ty Simpson. They're reading this defensive end outside linebacker. He gets upfield. All right, then Ty Simpson's going to pull it and try to knife up the interior of the defense. Georgia does not fear Alabama's push in the interior of the defense or interior of the offense at all. And you'll see Georgia gets flow towards the outside. Ty Simpson pulls this rock. But then defensive tackle wise for Georgia, they ultimately win this. It's easier to explain from the back view. Check this out. Where you got the one guy that sticks out is the center. The center is going to block back on number 0. Number 0 makes this tackle. That should never in a million years happen if you're an Alabama fan, because talk about leverage in football, winning with leverage. This is the most leverage you're ever going to get. And it's why the offensive line is blocking this way, because the ball's going this way. Offensive line, you have the leverage to block number 0 there. He does not let that happen at all. And again, this defensive end's the guy they're reading. He gets upfield. So Ty Simpson pulls it. And then this defensive tackle, interior wise for Georgia, they're active, and they're not making things easy as well. But 0 is the guy that comes back and ultimately makes this tackle. You're blocking back. He sheds that block. You cut back. He's right there to make a play. As bad as that looks, the problem isn't necessarily the runs themselves. It's the fact that Alabama only had 7 designed runs to the running backs in that entire SEC championship game versus Georgia. This lack of balance just lets the best pass rushers on every team Bama plays just tee off on Ty Simpson. And Ty Simpson's not the biggest dual threat. And as a result, his pressured versus kept clean numbers are dramatically different. You see, when you compare him to other quarterbacks in this playoff, the biggest difference is in his yards per attempt and completion percentage when he's blitzed. We saw that the last time Bama played Oklahoma. The Tide only had 24 designed running back runs compared to 42 passing attempts. And on those 42 attempts, Ty Simpson was pressured 11 times. 4 of those pressures ended up in sacks. And if you've been watching my videos all season long, you know where I'm going with this. The Sooner linebacker Kip Lewis was a problem for Ty Simpson. Kip Lewis, number 10, they walk him all over the park. He's confident. He's doing his thing. He's going to knife up the middle of the offense. I got the back view on this play too, which will explain it better. Bama's offensive line gives a 5 down call. Kip Lewis, no one blocking him, and that's either on the running back or it's on Ty Simpson not knowing that he's hot. Here again, look at him. Not a lot of linebackers in college football are moving around all this much. Shows how much confidence Brent Venables has, and he's going to knife up the A gap. We talked about this in the breakdown earlier this week. If you haven't seen the full Oklahoma Alabama preview, check out that video. I'll link it up above, and I go in depth in this play. But Bama's going to be blocking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with their 5 offensive linemen. When they move running back over to this side, it's on the running back to pick up Kip Lewis. Or if running back's into the route concept out here, then it's on Ty Simpson to make sure to know that he's hot and find a way to get the ball out of his hands and not get shocked by 10 Kip Lewis coming right down the A gap. Gosh, dude, if I'm a quarterback, this is why I pulled Oklahoma to win this game and Oklahoma to upset Indiana. Their pressure package is the most exotic of any defenses I've seen this college football season. They come out with the right game plan. Ooh, baby. It could be a long night. Again, I've broken down this play a couple times, but it's great stuff. This is my favorite blitz of the entire college football season, which makes me sound like an OU homer. I'm not. It's just Brent Venables' defense. You got Kip here. Again, he's going to act like he's covering the running back who's coming out into the flat. Instead, he knifes up towards the middle of the offensive line. This safety rolls down. This corner's coming back, and this corner ultimately gets this interception. Very similar confusion for Alabama in this play to what happened the previous play, where the offensive line is blocking the 5 down defensive linemen. In Alabama, Ty Simpson, the running back, or the interior offensive lineman, they're not accounting for the blitzing backer. This was the pick 6 in their week 1 matchup. I think I cut it short here to save us time. No, I don't. The house call for the Sooners. Back view again. Kip Lewis dancing around. Watch him here. He's going to come here, knife right through the middle. Picked off. Excellent play. Or excellent scheme. It's a scheme win by the defensive coordinator. And then the last one, it's blitz by Kip from that will linebacker spot. I got the back view here. This is less of a scheme win, and this is a physical beat by Lewis on a running back. So again, Alabama's going to block 1, 2, 3, 4, and the center is sliding this way to pick up any of the blitzing backers this way. As a result, it's on the running back to pick up any action and blitzing towards the weak side. Kip Lewis is coming. It's on the running back to try to block him. He doesn't. And what's super cool is you can see Oklahoma, they're not just calling this blitz just to call this blitz. They're going to ensure that Kip gets this one-on-one by bringing the defensive tackle inside and outside. It creates a nice little runway one-on-one with the linebacker. And Kip, I wouldn't say he's the biggest guy, but dude, his speed and length and athleticism, this is tough. The Bama running backs have struggled in pass protection all season long. Hey, real quick, if you're enjoying this video, do me a solid and hit the like and subscribe button down below. Helps me out a bunch. Thanks, guys. As much as I like Ty Simpson, though, I gotta point out that even when the run game's been serviceable, Ty Simpson's been struggling lately. Simpson averages 7.8 yards per attempt. Versus Auburn, though, that dropped to 3.5 yards per attempt, the lowest of any start he's made in college. And when you watch that tape, man, there's a lot of plays where Ty Simpson's at the line of scrimmage, checking, audibling, changing protections, and right when he does that, Auburn quickly changes as well. This was a defensive coordinator win against Ryan Grubb in this Alabama matchup, which I think Alabama's going to learn from this, where you can't have so many checks and put so much on Ty's plate because the defense was just checking right behind them as well. This is the perfect example. I think Ty, he thinks that he's getting man coverage on this look. It's a bunch formation. He goes up towards the line of scrimmage right here, trying to change the play to get towards a man beater. And then Auburn, the back end switches. They go zone and there's nowhere to go. It's a vertical route by Jeremy. It's a vertical route by, I can't see what receiver that is. And they're trying to dial up Ryan Williams' man beater on a deep out here. Instead, though, Auburn just drops underneath it in their zone coverage. I got a few more examples here of, again, Ty Simpson at the line of scrimmage, which looks cool. Shows you he's an NFL quarterback. He's processing. He's trusting what he's seeing, but you can see the back end for Auburn. They're like, yo, we're switching with you. You switch the coverage on the snap, know where to go with that ball. You ultimately, have the incompletion. Again, right here, more talking by Ty Simpson at the line of scrimmage. Watch this safety right here. He's going to come down. He's talking to his buddy like, yo, we're changing the coverage. We're mixing it up. He comes all the way down to the line of scrimmage talking to his buddy, and then he's going to drop towards the middle field free safety. That's a completely different coverage and a completely different read for Ty Simpson. It's ultimately going to be just man coverage across the board with a single high safety. And if that happens, Bama receivers, Jeremy Bernard, Ryan Williams, you got to win on the outside. They do not. This is excellent coverage by the Auburn secondary. And this is nothing against Ty Simpson. This is just the Auburn secondary and the corner specifically beating the Bama outside receivers, which if Bama is going to have any shot at making a run, their outside receivers got to win these one-on-one matchups. They get stoned, balls out quickly. There's pressure on Ty. That ain't happening. Again, we got Ty Simpson, more talking, more audibling, the whole deal. And this is where I think what Ryan Grubb will adjust, especially versus Oklahoma, because Oklahoma's standing up a bunch of backers, bunch of defensive ends. Bama loves driving the ball down the field. I've been complimentary of their intermediate passing game all season long. To me, Alabama has the best intermediate passing game in college football. We're talking digs, curls, deep outs, flood routes, things like that. But that leaves them vulnerable in that I don't think they have a vast quick game. And if teams are going to disguise coverage, if teams are going to be moving safeties, moving linebackers, dropping defensive ends, you have to have a great quick game package. They did not versus Auburn. And here's the perfect example. They're going bunch formation. You got a little hitch here. All right, that's technically quick game, but that's not going to put pressure on a defense. Then you got a deep out here again, and then you got a big post over the top. This is a long developing pass play. And Auburn, these three dudes in the middle here, yeah, they're coming at you. They're blitzing right down the middle. And because they're blitzing, Ty Simpson's hot. He's got to get the ball out of his hands, but he's got no quick game answers to get to. So with the defense, again, with so much pressure package, help your quarterback out. Give him some quick game answers. And then this last one, this is again, Ty Simpson talking at the line of scrimmage. We can see that. Auburn's like, yo, we're switching. We're talking as well. So much talking. All right. Who's going who? Who's going where? What coverage are we at? All right. Still talking. Now we're about to snap the ball. Auburn's going to go cover 2 towards the top of the screen. They're going to go here, and then they're cover 4 on the bottom of the screen. Think maybe doubling Ryan Williams a little bit here on the bottom, but ultimately this safety, he's more of like a robber player a little bit because he's going to work towards the middle of the field and ultimately almost and should have picked off this dig route. Again, another dig route. I told you Bama likes their intermediate passing game, but another dig route here on the outside, and then this corner by 17, he's wide ass open. So in hindsight, missed opportunity from Bama, weird spacing on this play, but we'll know in this first quarter of the Oklahoma game, if the shots down the field are working, that's a great sign for this Bama passing attack. The Sooners give up 6.3 yards per attempt. So again, Ty Simpson's going to be challenged on Friday. But even in that Auburn game, one of his worst of the season, the dude still threw 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. His season split is 28 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. And the dude can do something like this. For any Ty Simpson haters out there, it's throws like this that have him in the conversation as a top end of a first round draft pick. Motion down here, over route. That's where this ball's going. And man, this back left corner of the Auburn field has been very good to Alabama in years, the past decade or so. And you got a dig route on the top, you got a little drag route, and then you got a return route here. Ultimately, the ball's going right here. And this is a great job by Ty Simpson. He sees all the backers trying to blitz. He's got 7 guys in line of scrimmage. He knows he's likely going to be hot. So he's backpedaling on the snap of the ball, knowing that because they're blitzing, you don't have safety help over the top. So I can put touch and float this ball over on an over route and trust my guy to make a play. It's not just him chucking it up and on a prayer. He knows the defense he's got. So should the offense's performance in the last 3 Power 4 matchups for Bama concern Tide fans? Of course. Absolutely. Does it mean they're doomed though? Take it from maybe the biggest Ty Simpson believer on YouTube. They're not doomed, but I do think in a 4-quarter matchup at home in Norman, I think Oklahoma gets it done.